of check and a checkmate. In this one, we'll look at the very interesting idea of a stalemate. So let us see this position in hand. Now, if you notice, the white king is out of squares to move to. So let us say I want to move it here. This square is under the control of the black queen. If I want to move it to the left, again, the queen is controlling this square. And I cannot go up because the king is standing guard. Okay, so it is white to move, but white doesn't have a legal move. The king cannot make a move because wherever it goes, it has to step into the range of the one of the opponent's pieces. And as we have already learned, that is not possible. You cannot place your king under attack. Okay, so this position, the white king is known to have stalemated. We say this position is a stalemate. So white doesn't have a move to play. So in a tournament game, in a competitive game, this will be a draw. Nobody wins the game. Even though black has more material, he has a queen, but white escapes with a draw because he doesn't have a legal move left, cannot make a move. Now, just for understanding sake, imagine, let us say there's a pawn here which belongs to white and which can move to one square up and maybe make a queen or whatever. Then it is not a stalemate. Even if the king has no move, but in this case, if white has any other piece which can move anywhere else in the board, that is not a stalemate. But this particular position where we only have the king and it doesn't have a legal move, this one is known as a stalemate. So just for our understanding, we'll look at a few more positions. Okay, so in this position, we are white and we have to stalemate the black king, which means we have to take away all the possible moves of the black king. Okay, so in this case, the only way to do would be the rook to g7, and it's a stalemate. And why it's a stalemate? Because the king has no legal move. It cannot capture the rook because the rook is supported by the king, and we already know the kings cannot capture anything which is supported. And the other two possible squares are in the range of the white rook. So the black king is stalemated. Again, the result of the game will be a draw. White will not win the game. The game ended in a stalemate, and if it were a competition, both of the participants will get half point each. Nobody wins the game. Okay, we'll look at a few more similar examples, and here also your task is to stalemate the black king. So if you see, black king is only one place to go, and that is on g8, and we have the bishop on h3, and let us see, I can put it here on e6. Now if we see, the only possible movement of the black king has been restricted. So black cannot in fact make a legal move, and again it is a stalemate. I hope now the idea is becoming clear. The stalemate is a unique position where one of the kings or one of the sides doesn't have a legal move to make. In this position again, we have the same task, and think about it for a moment. What move would you make in order to stalemate the black king? Think for a moment. And yes, if you thought about knight to f6, it is correct, because the knight controls the square on g8. And now, as we have understood, the king doesn't have any legal move. So this is usually a method of achieving a draw in a game of chess, or it's a drawing method. So let us go back to the first example and see, this is the position we had originally to reach the stalemate position. So here white is actually giving up his rook for free, and yeah, of course the king can capture it, but because of this unique concept of stalemate, black doesn't win the game because white has been stalemated, doesn't have a legal move to make. King cannot go anywhere. Okay, so this is usually a method to achieve a draw result when particularly you are in losing position. So you can sacrifice some of your pieces and hopefully achieve a drawing position similar to this. Okay, so okay, again same thing. You have to find a way to stalemate the black king. There's a possibility of giving a checkmate also, but just to develop our understanding of the concept of the stalemate, you have to find a move which doesn't checkmate the black king but only gives a stalemate, and there's only one possibility which will achieve that, and we have to look for that. So again, if we see the position, again we are noticing the king already is restricted from the movement upwards because of the presence of the white king, and the only square to go to is g8. So there might be multiple ways, and we can put it here, and yes, it's a stalemate because the king cannot go to g8 also. Okay, so this is the concept of a stalemate. One of the sides runs out of legal moves. Okay, again similar example, and in this position it is white to move. Black queen is giving a check to the white king, and we have a possibility to capture it. Yes, and we can do it like this. Again the black king is stalemated. So I hope you understood the concept of stalemate. Stalemate is a unique drawing method in chess where the game ends in equality because one of the sides runs out of legal moves to make. We saw a few examples, and I hope you will use this method, or you'll be aware of this method and utilize this method to achieve a drawing position when you have a bad position or less pieces. Okay, so with that, we'll go to the next topic, and the more interesting topic in chess, the introduction to chess tactics.